Hi, this is Erica Smith and my screencast on David Hirsch's video and article on standardized testing and Common Core state standards. Do I think we should have Common Core state standards? I am indifferent. I'm not for or against them. Since I've been teaching, this is all I've known. I've been teaching for 5 years, so the implementation started before I began teaching. I just know that there are pros and cons of it. For example, beginning with the pros, the standards are more difficult, which allows opportunity for critical thinking and challenging the students in a way that the previous standards might not have been able to do. It provides a template and guidance for new teachers, and it establishes expectations for students' academic abilities at each grade level as well as teachers. However, this is where the cons can come in because those expectations are inequitable. The Common Core state standards and the standardized testing do not take into account the demographics and social cultural backgrounds of schools, which greatly impacts students' performance in the classroom and on tests. What a classroom of majority white English-speaking students are able to do is not the same as a classroom of majority Hispanic Spanish-speaking students are able to do. They don't take account for, and I quote, intractable issues of school segregation and child poverty, as Hirsch refers to New York Governor Cuomo's educational policies. The Common Core state standards are objective, and teachers don't have much flexibility, and this also can vary from district to district and state to state. They can be frustrating for students and parents because of their level of difficulty. Parents might not feel like they can help their child with the curriculum. Who gets to make decisions on what is taught in schools? Well, for my district, in contrast to schools in New York, as described by David Hirsch in his article, The End of Public Schools or a New Beginning, our administration seeks teacher input. However, it is a controlled power because they provide the few options of curriculum that teachers can choose from. Then, out of those options provided, all the teachers do a blind vote on which one they want to have piloted without even being able to look at the curriculum. And then the curriculum that wins that blind vote is piloted by a small group of teachers, and they decide if it's adopted or not. So this actually happened about 2 years ago with our English language arts curriculum. We had, I believe, 3 options. It was through a Google form, and we just picked which one. I don't remember ever looking at any curriculum having an example to look at to see which one would be best. But then those teachers went, and that small group of teachers piloted it, and they liked it, so we kept it. Do you get to make decisions about what you teach? I actually have always felt freedom in what I can teach. My very first year of teaching, I was a long-term sub, but I was there the entire school year. Which was not planned for, but that's what ended up happening. And it was in a reading classroom, and I thought that the curriculum we were using a Hoot Mifflin, and I did not like it. I didn't think that it was good. I didn't think that it challenged the students. I didn't think that it included the students and made their learning active. So I just put together my own curriculum. I got the okay from my principal, and she was fine with it. I did a novel study, and the students loved it. And not that I really care about test scores, which you'll find out in a later slide. They did really well on the state testing, and I don't think that's necessarily a direct reflection of my teaching, but also their engagement in the curriculum. So I think that it depends on your principal. Does your principal trust you to make decisions about what you teach, the subject that you teach, which I'll get to next? Does it warrant or give you the opportunity to pick your curriculum? And how long has that curriculum been implemented? I know that at the example I just gave, they had been using Hoot Mifflin for a long time. So me being a new teacher, truthfully, I don't know why she trusted me being a new teacher, and not even having a teaching contract, but she trusted me and let me do what I wanted to do. Now, with that said, the next question if so, what do you get to teach? So I teach writing and science. We do not necessarily have writing curriculum. We do have a Lucy Calkins writing curriculum. That's very much based on students having, if I teach fifth grade, them having Lucy Calkins writing curriculum from kindergarten on. So when I get to fifth grade and my students haven't had that, the activities that they're expected to be able to do is not realistic. Like, I would have to teach them all of those things that they were expected to have learned in 4 years. In science, they are transitioning to the NGSS standards, but have absolutely no curriculum for that. We only have our old science curriculum with the old standards. So I get to technically pick what I teach, my own content and curriculum. And I do mystery science. I do pull some stuff from the textbook. And then I try to do more hands-on learning through science. And do I agree with me being able to do this? Yes, I do. I love it. In writing and science, there actually aren't as many assessments as in reading and math. Those two subjects have a lot of district benchmarks and district assessments, and I don't have to experience that. For writing, I have one, and for science, I don't have any, although fifth grade gets tested by the state in science. And when it comes to these state tests, I don't really follow the rules because I don't agree with them. And I tell my students not to stress over them because they're kids and they don't need to be stressing over their performance on a test. The scores aren't a reflection of them as a learner, a child, or a person in general. And the scores are also on a reflection of me as a teacher. What's a reflection of them and me is what is done in the classroom. Also, along with what I'm able to teach is I include a democratic classroom and a culturally relevant pedagogy because I think that those two aspects are very important for the child's learning. What are the implications of Hirsch's conclusions, titled The Path Ahead? So consequently, we suggest a new vision for a socially democratic society, one in which everyone has an opportunity to participate in making policies, whether at the local, state, or federal level, and such decisions are transparent. He also states, we use the advantages of a networked society to inform and involve citizens in a variety of ways. Schools can become more than places where students prepare for standardized exams. He gives examples of teachers collaborating with students to create curriculum. Talk about a democratic classroom, kids helping to create curriculum. He also gives the example of Finland, who performs at the top in test scores for countries. I think they're the fourth. The teachers develop the curriculum and assessment for their own class, and then students are only given one standardized test throughout all their schooling, and that test only has individual consequences where it determines whether those students can get into college or not. So overall, standardized testing, I absolutely do not agree with, but Common Core standards, I don't think that they're bad. But I also don't know any better than that. I don't know anything different than that. So that is my take, my conclusions, my thoughts on Hirsch's ideas from his videos and his articles.